With the hundreds of creatures to pick from in Ark, it can be a tough decision choosing the best of the best, especially starting out. So which are my ultimate top 10 dinos you need to own for the best Ark experience? You're right kids, it's Raasclark and welcome to another top 10, this time voted by me, requested by you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share around and let's get into it. So in number 10 is any Wyvern. Overlooking the wide variety of breath attacks available today, of which there are many and covered in a separate video, Wyverns are some of the most versatile necessities to start you off. And the great thing is, after a note run, you can tame one with relative ease on Crystal Isles by simply farming some crystal. Needing to be level 65 to tame one, or alternatively nab an egg from a nest, easy enough on Fjorda with a parachute and Fjordhawk, and get raising, with high levels on boosted rates normally hitting adults without a drop of milk. You've now got one of the fastest flyers in the game, packing a decent enough bite for meat farming, a great early solution to charcoal farming from burned trees, as well as wood and thatch, with a decent weight and able to carry most land creatures up to stego sizes, allowing you a much easier time to trap and tame many of the next creatures you'll need. In at number 9 is the Baryonyx. When it comes to multi-traversal, there's really no safer choice. Found in most swamp regions and knocked out with tranks, will bag you a great land to sea mount. Needing to be level 49 for its saddle and preferring regular kibble, it not only hits hard with its razor sharp jaw line, combined with a small stature and jump ability, making it a great companion for cave running. It's a deadly foe in the sea, with no oxygen stat, able to stun almost anything on the spot, providing a much safe exploration of the deep blue and doubling for any sub-aquatic caves. Just make sure to keep some fish on it if you intend to keep one, being all that it eats. In at number 8 is the gas bags. A recent new favourite of mine, the deflating derpy dude is an excellent choice for those long grinding sessions. Found on Extinction Gen 1, 2 and Fjorda, and knocked out with many shots unless you aim for the face or freeze it to deflate and inflict more torpor damage to finally nab one. The beauty of these is they require no saddle. Crafting one at level 43 if choosing to once their air control is perfected, which does take some practice. The superior kibble flavoured floaty friend boasts one of the biggest weight stats available. Whilst there are other choices for specific weight reductions, if looking for just one to cover all, this is a choice you won't regret, especially when unlocking a mining drill at level 80, allowing you to farm literally tens of thousands of metal, stone or wood whilst keeping it equipped. Not forgetting it's an incredible tank when fully bloated, with 80% less damage and a great troll to any passers-by. I can't recommend the gas bags mining drill combo enough. In at number 7 is the Cinemacrops. A tough call to pick between this and a Fjordhawk, with both offering a second chance, so to speak. But having to pick one shoulder pet, this has to be the go-to choice. Tamed passively with chitin on Lost Island and able to very early on in the game, rewards you with a permanent fall damage preventer, allowing you freedom to hover about however you need to reach difficult areas you couldn't on foot, parachuting to a gentle fall if needing, and allowing you to zip through the sky just like a glider suit. As well as a 50% off weight reduction that you can swap with whilst still on your shoulder, scaring off smaller annoyances automatically. Looking at pegos and seagulls in particular, it simply adds another dimension of movement for your character, something you'll take for granted without a doubt. In at number 6 is the Denonicus. An absolute must for taming and breeding alone. Without question, one of your most favoured travel mounts, being an alpha killer and needing only one for alpha dragon. seriously. With its unique bleed attack attacking practically everything, the egg nest obtainable feathered fiend found on Val or Fjorda needing you to raise and be level 32 to saddle is a mean choice for any fight, especially in a pack with its buff and a fast travel mount that can climb to add to its list of features, but its eggs are what really counts. Setting yourself up with a large group popping out eggs regularly grants you one of the few eggs to craft extraordinary kibble with, the highest tier kibble available, and seeing that any higher tiered kibble can be used in replacement of lower tiered kibbles with the same effectiveness means these are all you need for kibble. That's it, one singular set of dinos for kibble eggs. Sadly, needing to be fertilised only, it's still by far my most recommended choice to obtain a breeding set as early as possible. In at number 5 is the Desmos Draculae. Like the Dino, another absolute must to set you up for taming and breeding. Found exclusively on Fjorda in a variety of caves, go for a low level starting out, needing you to possess a small amount of blood packs and be picked by one to tame one. Easier said than done, but once granted allows you a blood pack farmer in itself, farming in the bucket load from larger, meaner creatures, allowing you to tame higher leveled bats, but more importantly, crafting sanguine elixir. Arguably the best item in the game, granting you 30% taming or imprinting affinity to anything you drink it next to, meaning 2 huge portions of the game just became a whole lot easier to grind for, especially when looking at some of the more difficult tames in the game. And that's overlooking its other abilities, being the only flyer allowed in caves, able to turn invisible at night to fly all the way through one, as well as sonar detection, picking most small creatures and players, and being very useful to control in the air. It's an undisputed need for any tribe. In at number 4 is the Rex. Perhaps tugging at the nostalgia strings a little, it can't be denied the Rex is a great all-rounder. Found on every map, knocked out with tranks and needing a level 74 to saddle, the flagship dino is still a mean contender when looking to raise for boss runs. With a great balance of both tanky health and fantastic melee, not forgetting improved with higher level tech variants, the exceptional kibble favouring Sharp Tooth is still the safe option for the endgame challenges of Ark. Allowed into all arenas, still needing some decent saddles mind, but once in a pack and bred well should see you through most, if not every, endgame challenge in the game. As well as a great meat and hide runner, it's still a go-to for me, and most when grinding out for the long game. In at number 3 is the Griffin. At one point perhaps my favourite of all. Now knocked down a peg or two, it's still a very versatile choice to help you along starting out. Found on Ragnarok, Crystal Isles, Lost Island and Fjorda, and quite a tanky one to knock out, and preferring extraordinary kibble, the beauty is it requires no saddle, and once mastering its gliding swipe attack will find an early meat grinder that can kill at range, and stay at range in air, able to shoot whilst mounted, allowing you to tame anything in the wild from a safe distance. Being quite tanky, it's still my recommended choice against Wyverns, able to slaughter many at once when levelled in melee and stamina, able to pick a variety of smaller creatures too. Still my favourite air combat creature to date, with some hope being held out they may still become breedable yet. In at number 2 is the Giga. There's just nothing more menacing to ride in the game than one of these. Still a feat to trap and knock out, needing a lot of tranks, preferring exceptional kibble and found rarely on almost every map. Once achieved and levelled to 96 to ride one, you've got a near unstoppable killing machine. There's no better feeling of a meat run than ploughing a Giga through. Even with the incredible stat loss from a wild one, they still shed through anything, and with a good saddle can tank anything. With a very good reason they can't teleport into most boss arenas, can still come in very handy for anything that doesn't require teleporting through too. And being one of the longest raises in the game, there's definitely an achievement to own your very own dino melting 100% imprinted Giga. But there's something even more worthwhile to tame in Ark. And before we get to number 1, let's just take a quick look at the creatures that didn't just quite make the cut. And here it is in at number 1, the Maywing. If you know this channel, you'll know the milk-teated glider is by far my favourite in the game. A very easy tame to knock out on Gen 2, Lost Island or Fjorda, preferring basic kibble but easily done with mutton like most on this list, and needing level 43 to ride rewards you with the best travelling creature in the game. Taking some practice to perfect, needing to time jumps when hitting the ground at speed, and tilting once gliding will achieve an incredible speed that just can't be contested, allowing to travel some insane distances in quick succession. And with a fantastic base stamina, works very well as a weight dino to carry most things across the map, allowing you to pump both that and melee to fend off most with its belly flop, let alone its ability to farm incredible amounts of berries and fibre by biting straight after the flop. And then you've got something that drops every egg in the game at random, acts as a feeding trough to baby dinos when spraying those nips, and holding up to any 4 dinos right up to 99.9 maturation, saving you a lot of space for large creatures. Bundles together as the top most rewarding creature I can suggest that you'll regret not taming sooner. And that's it. If you agreed or have a different number 1 dino, comment below. And what top 10 would you like to see voted on next? My name's Raasclark. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And as always, peace out.